Thank you so much for joining in. We will start in about 2 minutes. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Ishita. I lead the community at Razorpay Rize. Today, we are here with one of our experts for the Rise D2C program. The D2C festive program is aimed at bringing some of the best, most experienced experts from the industry to help startups and founders like you prepare for the festive season. Over the month of September, we're hoping to do 10 plus sessions on very different topics. Today, we're proud and very happy to bring on board Anup. Anup is the head and the founding member of Ajiogram, Ajio's content first marketplace for India's most exciting D2C and lifestyle brands. As one of the founding members, he oversees the platform vision, portfolio, partnerships, and it's all built around India's boldest fashion forward labels. Anup and team are pioneering a new era of interactive content commerce in India. I'm sure a lot of you yourselves would have been maybe even on the customer side of this. But today we thought that it would be amazing to have Anup take us through a session on the Festive Fit Check, marketplaces, content, and lifestyle consumer trends. Anup, so happy to have you here with us today. And I'd love for you to take over in case I've missed out anything about your introduction. Feel free to add on.
Sure. Thank you, Ashita, for this and Razorpay for this opportunity, and thanks everybody for introducing you. I could get a hang of the backgrounds of what people are building, and I think so I can see there are brands who are well, not just brands. There are some service companies also who are also targeting their sales on the festive side. I can see D2C founders in the food side also. I think food and packaging, some international import export areas. So I think feel free to ask your questions. Before I would start off this entire thing, my journey has been into fashion in the last 4 5 years, fashion lifestyle. Primarily, my background was into strategy. So I've been a management consultant before, and I've been helping a lot of CXOs in Fortune 500 companies before I came and joined the CEO's strategy team here. So feel free to ask any questions. It doesn't matter what I present and all. So I'll start off with a basic introduction of what is festive for anybody. Allow me to just share my screen, and then we'll go a little bit, little by little, and understand how you can take advantage of the D2C marketplaces and some how the funnel tactics are. Give me a second. Let me just present it. Can you see my screen? Okay. Okay. So, let's discuss. I just thought that, if we keep it more engaging, feel free to ask your questions. It'll be more useful that way. Although I'll be focusing more on very generic nature of how you accelerate your brand's sales and, your awareness, your brand building factors. A lot of things are there, but 1 hour session will be a little lesser. So is more open to, answering your questions. So we'll discuss what is a festive period, first of all. Is it ethnic? Many people, when I say festive, people think it is only ethnic. Not necessarily. We'll discuss a little bit about it. Then we talk about, how do you get started with marketplaces? Like, there are some apprehensions a lot of people have, especially D2C founders. There is something to lose and gain in a marketplace. And because of those confusions coming up, they don't know exact strategy, how to enter a marketplace, how to scale there, what to scale there, while you keeping your brand identity and your entire pricing intact. So there are strategies around that. Many people ask about what are the different types of business model. Before I even start talking to somebody, I should know what am I giving and what am I getting out of that in terms of commercial value. So that is all the business models we'll talk about. Sometimes there are very common questions that comes up. I'm a startup, I went and listed somewhere, I'm not getting any bandwidth from an account manager. If that happened to you, there might be a reason behind it, right? So how to be relevant, how to be getting all the spotlight on you is something that happy to answer to all those questions. Then second is what to list in the platform, how to promotion strategy. So the point I'm trying to do is I'm listing out all the different facets of things that you do in a business. from an idea conception to where you are right now, when you are already live in a certain market, physical store, online, anywhere. The festive period is going to be, what we have seen in fashion lifestyle area is around 40 to 45% of the entire GMV is booked in this period, in 3, 4, 5 maximum, around your September, October, November, mid of December, I think 45% of your entire GMV, the entire year is booked. So that way it becomes very important. Preparedness should start from September, but all the months has to be attacked in a very different way. We will discuss, one by one. uh, some people asked me questions last time on, what if, I have listed, I was doing well, but suddenly the product ratings went down and I can't delist. How do I go ahead? I'm not getting a sale. So if you have this question, let me know. Happy to answer this question. Second, people asked that how do I go about marketing? I don't own a marketing channel, and I have no clue about how performance marketing acts. Even if I give it to an agency, what about brand marketing? And it's so costly to do about it. So we'll talk about micro communities led marketing and how it is improving your brand, especially if you're a brand and not just a label. The last one is how to grow, in a marketplace. Does catalog size, impact your overall discovery and sales? Is it products uniqueness? Is it pricing uniqueness? XYZ. So if you can see my screen, feel free to ask any questions. Let me just get started with the festive period, right? So when we say festive calendar, I would say from August till somewhere in around December, it extends, it percolates to that entire December period. August, typically, if you see a lot of festivals kick in that August, September period till Ganesh Chaturthi and everything. So people think, India being a very religiously, attached country, linked country, people buy in a certain period. It's a good time to buy things. So we have seen primarily in this period, people tend to buy premium stuff at a lesser discount margin. What you've seen in all the large marketplaces. I'm talking about roughly about 150, 200 lakh people sessions coming every day in such marketplaces. So data on lifestyle talks about not just fashion. It talks about home, utility, your all your accessories, jewelry, ethnic, everything encompasses that. So given that August, September has a certain trend in terms of buying premium wear, slowly brands primarily promoting their key campaigns early during this period. August, September is a time where you say what you're going to do in October. Have a one hook indicator that tells you what you're going to sell in October. For example, Big Billion Sale, everybody knows that iPhone would be the key differentiator there. Similarly, Amazon might come up with a Samsung. They have a hero in mind. They communicate, massively in August, September, and you hook and register in your brain. And they don't give a huge discount call out in all the products they have. Towards we go to October. You see, October is more towards demands where you are doing bulk buying. The family buying starts for family, friends, and all that. So bundling and little bit markdown discounts are prevalent in this area. So if you can see, the first phase, August to September, is a warm up season, what I would say. Where your influencer teasers, the best time to invest in your influencer campaigns, because in October, the entire clutter will be there. You will not be able to get enough views for the money you are spending. The bidding of the keywords, the bidding and the visibility of any other paid media marketing channels will be very, very high. So please start in August, September. Coming to October, so again, your sale will actually start peaking in October early, and because of the bundling, your AOV, the average order values will increase. Whatever, whether you are selling, if you are selling a service, then try to do some add-ons to it. People will end up buying more bundle items. But if you are doing primarily any goods like this, like I said, please amp up with some kind of bundle products, not necessarily, your checkout items as an add-on. But let's say, for example, we are saying any ethnic wear can be bundled up with some kind of a juti, create some those kind of things. Not necessarily only ethnic, but I think you get the idea of bundling multiple different type of associated products together. That's what October tells you to. Now again, towards the November, already your festive is closing down, and now a lot of brands who would face either an overstock issue or an out of stock issue. So in this cases, people who come out, there is again a competition that happens, who comes and does the first liquidation sales. So this is what we see in the November period also. Massive liquidation happens. So October may be a great period to buy, but if you want to buy it cheap, then it's going to be November. So now, to avoid a liquidation in November, it is very important that you do your great strategy in terms of merchandising planning and availability planning. If you are into inventory led business, then inventory allocation has to be important. You don't want to get stuck in the entire logistics operations where entire country is kind of going through a traffic jam of large sets of fulfillments happening, and there's obviously a lot of delays happen, and due to delays you will face a lot of RTOs. And once the RTO happens with a COD order, you are basically ending into huge losses. So as good as the festive period might sound, don't go into it if you're not 100% prepared. Rather do organically what you're doing. But if you want to be fully prepared to make a huge presence in the country, then you have to be planning your strategies very well. Again, towards the end of it, December blends into a Christmas, more Western centric purchases. Gifting comes into picture in the early December, goes up to the New Year period. So that is how people see how festive period looks like. Now,
Anup,
if
sorry,
any questions are there, let me know. Otherwise, I'll go in detail about how you should go about your targeting of the customers.
Anup, just a quick thing. One, your slides aren't moving and it's not in presentation mode. So it's
Oh,
been
is
on the
it?
first slide. Yes.
Give me a second. Can you
Sure.
see it now? Let me know.
It's currently still in presentation mode.
Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes. Now we can go through it. Yes.
Okay. So I was showing this particular slide before, where I was talking about the first topic we were covering, what is a festive period, first of all. And then we said, and what are some key things happening in this area? October, September, we again in a warm up phase where you are just doing a lot of awareness campaign. Best time to put on influencer marketing. October, focus on performance mads and your social media, which is the Instagram boost ads and all. And then we said November would be a liquidation pay point, overstocking, understocking issue. So merchandising strategy, your inventory allocation, your service allocation strategy has to be very, very important. You will get a huge spike because of the highest discount that comes in. But post Diwali, then I mean, after that, you move into December where Western, all these lifestyle, other accessories like fragrances, these things pick up. And so that's how the entire festive period in India looks like. Now, if you see, if you have any questions on that, otherwise, I would just quickly tell you why you should focus on a Gen Z audience this time more. If you are already doing something for the TG, which is your millennial and early millennial or a late millennial audience, it is the right time to introduce some small set of category to your Gen Z, because now they are getting married. They are now well equipped with some kind of a like a bank balance they have. And the first Gen Zs are now in 28, 29. So already they're entering the zone that they'll be your next target customers. So today also, if you see, roughly 42% engage in social commerce. So the channels are very different. 40% share they're taking of any they talk about Mintra, talk about Ajio. Everybody has come up with a Gen Z first storefront. Ajiogram and Mintra Forward being one of the Gen Z first, because this is a huge segment that is coming, which is a huge having a great purchasing value. So that's one. Second is, how are they different? I mean, the same channels you might be doing before, or you, if you're trying to target the millennial or the boomers, also has to be very different in terms of product preference. Trend is always there. Trend virality is something that they prefer. Not necessarily everything has to be impulse buy. They're very, very rational purchasers. They see value over just pricing or brand. So having that good price to value ratio is very important. Somebody might say that, hey, I'm selling the same product at 600 rupees in a particular place, and I'm getting so and so conversion, but the same thing I'm doing in another place, but I'm not getting any traction. The reason is that the audience for these two places are very different. They perceive your product in a very different value proposition, as a value as compared to any other marketplace. So hence, if it is you're targeting Gen Z, please attach some USPs. Might be the same product, but please attach the USPs clearly differentiating why you should be remembered in the flood of all this marketing happening. And especially if you are a new startup founder and you are only on online, let's say you are doing any inventory based sales, then start in a localized market in a physical retail format like multi-brand outlets rather than going full-fledged only on online, because not always you will be having a very stable sales online. It is dependent on how you are visible, how uniquely you're differentiating. Secondly, if you have seen recently, there is a ad coming up on I think Java or something, like a glass ad. There's a container ad coming. The container is nothing different, but their marketing itself is so they have a layered form of marketing. That they will go full-fledged on performance and social ads in the first 10 days of the month, and towards the later part of the month they'll understand who interacted with the ad, and only target those people for the rest of the funnel rather than targeting everybody else till they close their targets on, so funnels become very important in this case, whether you're doing Gen Z or millennials. Again, shopping path, phygital, Gen Z prefer a phygital medium. They love shopping from Zudio, Usta at the same time, and they also want to shop on thrift stores, like all the second hand products. So there is nothing, I mean, for the Gen Z, you can necessarily say that this is the only thing that is going to work. They are not necessarily brand loyals. They are going to experiment, extremely experimental people. So target them if you have some value proposition around them. Spending approach, like again, very value conscious, let us say. They have a price to value sensitivity, and millennials are more bent over trust. They might find another product which looks and feels the same, but probably will go back to the same brand that they have been using for a long period of time. So if you are targeting a new customer on in a category that is already penetrated in the market, and you are just trying to take another share in the market, probably millennials should not be your first target. I would not say that until unless you have a clear value proposition differentiating it. Again, engagement strategy. Gen Z is all about UGCs, micro influencers, where when I say micro influencers, it also includes local influencers. When I say local influencer, it means that you might have seen a lot of women WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, society groups in different tier 2 and beyond cities. Those are the places in the local language. Have you seen that there was a one lady who was demonstrating and selling kapda on your apparels on Instagram, and she was talking about tota green, all that mehendi red, something of that sort. So it's very relatable on how they speak, in the language they speak to the audience they have. So this festive season, we have seen traditionally micro influencers are actually doing a great job. That need not be on Instagram. It can be in any channel. It can be even family, society groups and all. So depending on the nature of your product, if it is a very localized product like milk or fresh products and something, then please use the this approach of going on a localized micro community level. But if you are a very generic level brand, and you don't know exactly who should be purchasing a product, which is the figuring out path, then probably you can start off with your social media marketing. Try targeting some places that you hypothesize that probably this is my market. You end up understanding who is actually buying from you. And until unless you go physical and sell your things, whether if it's a physical product, it's fine. But if it's service based product, please do go and meet people in multiple exhibitions and all that, on all the expos that happen. You'll get a great feedback about what your product is lacking or what your products are doing great, right? So before I go to very quick things on like I said, summarizing, premiumize early, focus on urbanized metropolitan shoppers, because that is where majority of your premium customers are going to come up. If you have a very unique product that you feel will be something that can generate more revenue for you with a lesser discount, please promote them through influencers in this particular period, because the moment you enter your Diwali area, you'll be all full of clutter. Nothing will be visible. Just a waste of money. Again, value seeking pre-post Diwali. Again, target tier 2 shoppers. High volume discounts are, like I said, bundles, accessories, and XYZ. Wedding is another. So another spillover from November to January is your wedding or period will start. That includes your December Christmas period. So focus more on bridal. So when I say you already have a product, then rebrand it with a festive feel into it. Like for example, the certain words, the words called desi, right? All those words bring more traction to your product, even if the product was selling with none of these words before. So some content and copy has to be very, very important. Like I said, almost everybody makes 35 to 40% of their annual fashion GMV in this particular period. And gifting is important. So now, uh, I think before I go to the merchandising part, is there any question that anybody has? Please let me know. Otherwise, I'll be running a little bit faster until I go to the place where we have Q&A and we only answer questions based on Q&A.
Founders, everyone who's joined in, any questions on the topics that Anup has already touched upon? I do see there are a couple of general questions which we'll keep an eye on and pick up at the end of the session. Anup, one question that's come in is how to lower the shipping cost.
So yeah, so let's say lower the shipping cost, right? So I am assuming that already you're working with a aggregator. Like for example, if you're only partnering with a delivery or a shadow fax or so then there are some certain advantages you're missing. Like so for example, cost of the delivery is dependent on certain factors. One is the distance of your delivery. Now, if your DC is, your DC or inventory location is in Delhi and you're shipping to Bangalore, obviously the cost will be very high per package. So that is where the concept of inventory allocation comes in. Today we have many dark warehouses available. You have to first start with understanding where your customers are coming from. Then locate your key moving, SKUs, which is having a very high sell through nearby those areas. If I'm selling to Bangalore, probably I'll have a base around Coimbatore or something like that, where or a Hosur, something like that, where I can reach Chennai and Bangalore together at a similar kind of a time, rather than sending it from one particular place. This is a common thing that people don't invest in, thinking that the warehouse charges will be higher. But I think there are many shared warehouse models coming in right now. So you can integrate them through eCommerce and many other easy and then dispatch any of the products at a much faster and a cheaper rate. Second thing is, let's say, the shipping cost is also increasing because let's say you didn't plan your production at the time and you ended up shipping in the last moment of something, then you have to do a rush order just to avoid an RTO. So in this rush order, obviously the cost will be much higher. You have to accommodate in multiple places. I think if you do these two things, I think the shipping cost will be much lesser. There are other techniques. There's a number of things, but these are the primary ones that people make the mistake: allocation and your urgency to creation the entire production order. Any other questions?
Another question that has come up is that do we need to change the name of the product according to the festive season?
No, I would say don't change the name of the product, but change the copy of how you selling it. Like for example, if it is a festive period going on, there's no point in selling something that is irrelevant for that period. Let's say I would not use any keywords. When you say monsoony, people talk about rains, people talk about how the greenery is XYZ, water everywhere, and XY. I'm just saying the copies can change, the branding, the way you present. If I'm selling a glass also, I would rather talk about, put a festive background in behind, that sip the coffee from the desi way. I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
that is how. No, there's no point in changing the name of the product, because in the long term, you will again face an implication. People don't even remember your product. It's so confusing. So don't change your product name. Just rebrand.
Understood. Another question is what about brand collaborations during the festive season? Is that a good strategy to capture the market at this time?
Yes, I think brand collaborations are increasing in India. Definitely a great strategy. If you don't want to burn a lot of money and still want to tap into, understanding, tap into certain new communities that you yourself could not do it. I think collaborations are the way to go. So, and not only that, when I see startups, they come up with, let's say, not every startup can come up with thousands of product SKUs or offerings at the same time. So when you are inviting and spending money on something, and inviting people to your website or your store on a marketplace, and they just see 50 products out there. Immediate reaction is, oh, probably this brand is not ready enough. I think the company is not ready enough. Let me go back. So either if you want to increase your scale, co-brand products, co-branded products like Urban Monkeys are doing today. If you see Blue Orange is doing with some alcohol brand. We are in Ajio also, we do a lot more product collaborations with many many college sorry the many alcohol brands like Jameson and all that. Many cards come in collaboration like SDFC and Ajio card, Amazon Ajio card. There's a reason, because that's not your offering, but you can scale your offering by just collaborating and increasing the SKU. The other way is that you don't provide a service at all, but when you collaborate, product might be yours, service might be somebody else, and you together come together as a more trusted thing. To develop more trust also, sometimes collaborations are required. And when you talk about influencer collaborations, when in terms of marketing, I think that is another thing going on. There are many people who are very micro level influencers waiting to become good influencers in the future. They are willing to do barter deals, give them certain things, one or two products, and they will drive traffic. It's not traffic, it's more awareness, a trust building activity. So if you're expecting sessions and sales to come from those kind of influencer campaigns, probably that is not going to happen. So you should be very clear, influencer is not going to commit on any sales, only visibility and some level of awareness. If you want sales, go for affiliate campaigns. But yeah, co-branding helps.
Thanks, Anup. I'm just going to check if there are a couple of other questions that we can pick up right now.
I saw
Uh,
one question. Somebody had mentioned that, I am listed on Myntra
yes,
and still I'm not able to get a traction, right? Very
yes.
common. See, if you are trying to build a brand on a marketplace, this is a very common thing that happens. You start a brand with a lot of hopes that, I'll get a traction. Then cut to 1 month after some initial launch offering that any platform provides. Again, there is not a single sale that you can get, and that is one issue. Second issue that comes is, my traction is good, but I am not able to fulfill my orders, or I'm not able to understand when the order is spiking and when the order is actually low. So whenever I'm planning for a low order month, spike comes and I can't fulfill. When I'm planning for a high order month, I'm getting low orders and it's just overstocking. These are common questions that come. Now the first thing there is, first of all, get to know how the algorithm works. Who are the key people, and how the algorithm works. How a Myntra algorithm works is very different from how Ajio algorithm works. So key facets of algorithm would be something like your catalog sell through. If your products are getting a lot of views from the platform, but people are not clicking to the next journey of the product, the click through is not happening. So then the marketplaces have an algorithm in place which is called to talk about consideration. So they have parameters like consideration, like in this case. There are parameters like if you're going to a product page and then adding to cart, that's called like a add to cart conversion. So until unless you are ticking all the funnels and what the ratios that you are building in terms of consideration conversions are not good, you're not working on that, none of the platforms are going to work for you. Even if you're giving great discount, you're going to end up in doing price wars and all, nothing else will work. So please see how the funnels work. If your people are looking in a view and not clicking it, it means either your pricing is not fitting the rest of the product that is out there, or the imagery of that entire product on the is not attractive enough, or the ratings that is available there, it's not good enough that people don't want to click it. Fix that. Then you go to PDP. How to know? See, there might be n number of elements that are there, but how do I know in for a service based company, or for a apparel based company, for a food based business, parameters will be different. Just go to that entire scene, that frame that you have. See what are the elements that you see. In the first frame, you might see just a rating, just a name of the product, a one image, maybe one liner about the product title and the price and the offer. That's what is mentioned over there. So you know that I have five things to play around. Then what are the controllables here and what are the non-controllables here? Work on the controllables and do an experiment. Once you're doing your A/B testing over there, you will one day find, okay, this is it now. Okay, just by changing the image, I could get more people into the next phase of the funnel. So similarly, when you go to the product details page, whether it's a Shopify website or whether it's a any marketplace, your product page or your own thing. So the moment you people land there, they see a lot more features out there. They see, what is the delivery date. Probably they will see that, there are coupons availability over there for conversion. So that it's tempting them. Probably an indication saying that last 25 pieces left. Some FOMO creation. If you are selling a premium merchandise, don't let the person to, take a long time to come and take a decision and come back to you. Because there's a probably a very high chance that some what you are selling, somebody else is also similarly selling in a similar product, probably sourcing from the same place. So close that by this FOMO creation. A cart. The second thing is, other thing you see is reviews. If you in the same page, if your reviews are not there, please add them. Last thing is trust markers. That if you're a new company, for letting the people adapt, you got the awareness, you spend money, people came, saw your product, and now they're thinking, should I even pay in this particular portal? Now that's the biggest place where people, need trust. That's where I think you have your many, like, if you're tied up with a payment portal, let's say Razorpay, then Razorpay gives you a kind of a branding material in your checkout or a cart page telling that, powered by Razorpay. Because people trust and they market themselves on the branding activity that, okay, I'm trustable because I do so and so things. So another can be your, like a return window. Clearly call out, that 30-day free period, or next will be, charge at this or no cost. People don't want to get cheated later on. So if you are upfront communicating about trust values, your conversions will be 100% high. So I think these are the things that I would say. Look at your funnels. And any other question that is there?
A couple of them, but Anup, we can move ahead
Yeah.
and then we'll come back to questions.
Okay, I'll just quickly walk you through. So again, what are some key practices in strategic merchandising, marketing implications, and XYZ? So like I said, I have broken it down into certain month level. September, like I said, teaser basics. October, premium, ethnic, and occasion we are going to hit. November, gifting focus, bundling should be the key, and then obviously some level of liquidation discounting you can do. December is what, merchandising. I think party, little bit of a home accessories, home improvement items can come in. That leads into your new hobbies into the new year. Marketing again, like I said, uh, if it is like Navratri is not necessarily Durga Puja, it's a different community altogether, celebrated in different parts of the country. Probably Gujarat, you will want to go for Navratri in the western side of the India, Durga Puja in the eastern side of the India. Now, the target audience, if you see, they behave very differently in this period. They consume different foods. The spending patterns are different. So I think that's where you have to understand that I should not broadcast the entire same value proposition to everybody. If I'm a t-shirt company, probably I would be selling lions and tigers in this particular time, or women-centric, t-shirts that are there for people to for. I'm just saying, not necessarily I'll be, giving a elephant on a Dashera. Probably I'll do it in a, on a Ganapati. So regional targeting, even though the person might enter using your tiger ka campaign and end up in your store and watch a, beautiful whale somewhere and buy that whale and go, but your targeting should be relevant. Second is micro community, like I think I've discussed about it. Launch exclusive festive collections in an urgency mode. This should happen in your September to October, before mid-October, and September is all about that. Launch your exclusives, tell people how you're different. Otherwise, there'll be huge clutter. Pricing mein, like again, early festive, premium pricing holds. So don't rush around, discounting in case you're not getting a sale. There is the problem is not pricing. It is, talking about storytelling and aspect of telling how you're different. So don't hold pricing in the early festive. Mid late, I think discounts will dominate. So that starts from your October second week onwards up to your entire November first week kind of a thing. So discounts will dominate, and so there's no question. The price wars are there. Just don't go beyond a point where you are going way below. Don't go below your cogs. Then again, your bundling balances, ASP plus volume, which is again your, like I said, always try upselling your product and cross selling your product. Even if people go and check out, just like Zepto, you would have seen towards the end of your card, they'll ask you, hey, maybe you can add on some extremely low ASP commodity items where I don't have to think about it. Like if you're ordering a cake, probably I think a lot about which flour, what cake, based on the choices of the person. Is it good enough? Is it worth it? The moment I land in the cart, I have 10 more choices. A generic gift card, a generic, some kind of a keyring maybe. And people add it generally because it is a commodity. There's nothing to think about, but it adds to your average order value. Operations is the biggest issue, I would say. um, if you're a fashion brand and you have already not started your fashion shoots by now, I don't think you will get time to close up your entire shoots or catalog before the festive period hits on its peak. So if you are already not done it, please find a agency or close your shoots before. Warehousing, again, dark stores will be completely filled. So if you have not reserved your dark stores in a particular thing, especially people who want to reduce the cost of their operations, please plan ahead. Top sellers, see in the, go back to your Shopify data or your, your marketplace data, see where your major business is coming from, what categories. Accordingly, create a plan, at least test out some 20% of your inventory, starting with that. If it works out, then slowly build more capacity in these places. But closer is much better. Damages are lesser, faster delivery, customer is also very happy. Nobody wants to wait for a 7-day period. Given the Gen Zs are 40% contributing to your business these days in terms of lifestyle and all, very high chance they will cancel it on the way. So you will get RTOs, again, double the cost. And last is COD is the big, one of the biggest thing that is going to be there. Again, if you are having a website and you're not offering cash on delivery, uh, it is a completely a choice for you. If you feel that you are attracting a premium audience, COD is a big risk. Although so manage it very clearly. Should not be offering your marketing campaigns. If you're just saying about COD, people will buy it, and many people, how it goes. I think that experience everybody knows about it. So yeah, but what you can do about it, there are many, I didn't go into agentic automations of marketing right now, but that's a completely different topic altogether. For small businesses who wants to completely end-to-end automate their marketing and outreach, all that thing. But for COD, what people are doing, I've seen many companies doing that. They are just immediately before the dispatch, they give a call to the customer confirming that this is an order that is going to dispatch and there'll be no cancellations. So many times customer says that there is no cancellations that are going to happen, and they dispatch it, and that kind of ensures that there is no loss, any cost loss that is happening in this area. So like an IVR setup, automated messaging, WhatsApp. If you are investing on WhatsApp based CRM, then you can even invest, just do some kind of engagement should go on. I remember there was a Bombay shaving company, a huge campaign was going on right now. They were selling a lot of, like, 5 6 items, a lot of shaving kits and all at 399, and range there was something at 699. But because there was a huge volume of demand, they took about 7 days to ship it. And because of that, what they were doing in the 7 days, they were constantly engaging you with content, some kind of funny activities on your WhatsApp, some mails coming about, hey, this is where we're already done, wrapping your packet, then we will dispatch in the next 2 days. So people were aware of the fact that what the package is going through, rather than being in a like a thought that, okay, probably it is taking time, probably it's going to never come. So you can reduce a lot of this COD risk that way. I think quickly again, like I said about this is my, there are only two more slides I have. Then I'll go and show you how did Ajio perform, last entire festive season. So you get a hang of what exactly I was speaking to, what the data is telling. So micro communities matter because, hyper local engagement, festivals are regional, micro communities reflect local culture, and don't underestimate the power of small women centric micro communities. They're very, very good at word of mouth. Misho was primarily built on micro communities. They had a sales agents going to tier 3 and beyond cities, catching hold of kitty groups, catching hold of small local communities, and nukkad mohalla and all that. And that's how they put Misho in the hands of, your mom would be probably knowing, our mothers. My mother would be more knows Misho much better than Ajio herself. So that is the how they have penetrated the market. Trust-led conversion. So because the micro community, it is based on the trust of the people that are promoting it. So you don't have to be doing a lot of campaigning around trust, proving it, giving freebies and all. So these people will help you as their champions and building the trust. Cost effective because micro creators are pretty cheap as compared to big influencers. For example, in Ajio, if you do a from through us, if you do a the cheapest campaign on influencer, it will start at 10,000 rupees. The cheapest, the person who has like 5K followers and all, it goes up to a different categories of content creators. And comes a time where you have all the celebrities who take a lot of money, right? All the big celebrities taking crores, but they have no commitment on visibility. They don't commit on sales. Lower you go, you have visibility commitments, like some good influencers more than 100K, 200K. They just work on creative dispatches. Like for example, a person having a 500K to 1 million follower will not tell you that, okay, I'll work for this much visibility. They don't have and nothing to, not much to lose. So what they do, they'll tell you that I'll do 2 stories, 3 content in terms of outputs. Lower you go, you probably get people who are more involved in, as long as you are hungry, they are also hungry. And even lower are the micro communities where people don't want to go beyond a point, but wherever they are, it can be your campus ambassadors in a particular college, it can be, a certain kind of a community leader of a particular, let's say a pottery group is there and you want to target a group of potters, then probably the pottery group leader you have to catch as a champion and give him certain freebies, educate him about your products and make him speak more about your, so engagement will be way higher. Somebody was asking about co-branding. I think along with co-branding, co-creation also is very important. People love participating in contest. I'll tell you a very amazing insight. So giveaways, you don't know, there are people only on Instagram just to participate on giveaways. That's it. They don't do any posting, nothing, but they participate in all giveaways. And they're all people, they are not all the tier one super, South Delhi or South Bombay kind of rich communities. They're all average people who are middle class from tier two, tier three who join in and try to win and they will actually do follow all the rules of your giveaways, whether you want to tag a content or you want to post it to a friend, tag 3 friends, they do all this. So please use all of these community contests, like a best dressed up or somebody who can use your, if you're a service based company, who can use up your service for a freebie and create a video around how it impacted your, his work or XYZ. So these are something that people believe in. Last is curation. If you're into festive looks, sell curated looks instead of just a product. So that will be very important. If you have a group of products catering to multiple categories, show together how it all can come together. Or if you are only catering to few categories, then have a look-based visual, merchandising display rather than just showing the product itself. And whenever you're doing anything that is having a proper USP in terms of let's say it is very different in terms of, let's say some people sell product t-shirts, let's say it is 400 GSM or like a bio-washed fabric, pre-shrunk fabric and all, but you have not called it out in any of the cataloging elements in any of the marketplace or your store, then how will customer get to know? So sometimes in the image itself people add, like a heavy gauge fabric or 400 GSM, like a Clima Cool. So those are all small branding parameters you can add it to the product or the image of the product if you want to take a best advantage of communication, because people don't read texts anymore. You've seen the real generation is out there. So people love swiping. They are not having a lot of patience until you are doing an extremely high value purchase. Cross selling, like I said, sari accessories, newlyweds ke liye. Just they are cross selling other things. They're trying to buy something here. Lastly, I think there's a playbook, what to do, what works. I'll share this one, how different type of micro communities are there and how to get involved with them and why it will work. So one is a niche cluster. I'm just quickly give you a summary so that when you have this presentation, you can go through it. But niche clusters are somebody who are extremely high value in terms of the fact that to make them a loyal customer is easier if you hit the right chord. So they engage in micro communities, like for example, a wilderness group or a group like particular let's go particular how do you say, a social initiative based group. Those are based extremely high niche cluster. There is a brand called Crep Dog Crew. So they focus on niche clusters only. They have stores and they have online also, but they have an extremely curated, very less amount of products that they have, like a marketplace, but they only attract a certain set of people who want to adapt be the early birds of the trend adoption. Extremely eco conscious. They will not wear anything about anything that is non-sustainable. So on and so forth. Then you have creator collaboration, like I said about, I think pretty much that we have talked about creative collaboration. Then you have co-creative engagements, like I could talking about, if you can do something, ask your communities to tell you what you want to do. So sometimes this kind of co-creation helps. For example, if I'm doing a quizzing to a community that is not interested in quizzing, rather more on dance and fashion and all, sometimes you have to tweak your way how you engage. Not everybody will adapt to the same way of engagement. So look at the customer persona and then build your engagements. Exclusive bundles and offers. So I might say that if you are my loyalist, if you have been buying every 6 months from me, you're a brand loyalist for me. My offer to you will be 5% higher. But if you are a person, you are not a loyalist. You probably are, you bought once and probably every year you come but don't buy. You are just visiting but not buying necessarily. Then you're my loyalist. In that case, I will try to promote you but not give you a full-fledged offer throughout the year. So maybe I'll not even show you certain bundles. So this is called cohortization. In cohortization, you can choose to do a CRM campaign. Let's say I'm putting a WhatsApp notification to all the loyal followers saying this is the offer and this product is only available to you, versus another person seeing another image saying that okay, 10% off to you, but he can't see certain exclusive bundle that you created for your loyalty. So I think this kind of creates some kind of aspiration. So your product range should have an aspirational level to it. If you have started with a simple, let's say I've just started with a simple steel glass company, and you are not going and adding aspirations to that same glass, I can add a cap to the glass. I can do some etching. I can say personalization bhi karke de dunga. I'll then ask the thermos to that. So you have layers of the same product. So even though customer might come at any level, he should know that there is a way to look forward to if I have the right money. And if I have the right money, I have a trust and there's a consistency to the delivery of the service. Then you have finally localized content language. If you are into a place where you are into consumables like fashion, grocery, or anything, it is very much preferable that please go and if you're doing any kind of general campaigns, festive campaigns, please target to a locality and use the language of the locality. Like for example, if I'm putting Bangalore in Instagram, I'll search Bangalore and put Kannada as a language, probably you're going to fail, because Bangalore is a cosmopolitan city. Probably it will work from tier 3 and beyond cities. But if you're going targeting a cosmopolitan city, if I'm doing only English on Instagram, probably it will work out. But there are other channels where only English in Bangalore will also not work out. People don't understand. They want to have some localized. So depending on the nature of the channel, if it is a newspaper going, probably you have to use Kannada or English mix. If it is going to a WhatsApp channel, probably you again Kannada and English mix. But if you are going to Instagram, probably only English. You don't have to target Kannada because people know English who are there on Instagram. So similarly, channel specific localized content will be very important. Lastly, if you have seen Zomato also, they use certain words from the localized communities, very there are certain keywords. When people hear in that community or locality, they're very happy about it. Everybody has all this I'm not say slang, but it is kind of a slang, but like a urban slang. When people are, oh, it's so much relatable to me. Half your product is sold if you relate to people. Last is feedback channels. I think if you are going the community manner, the best part about this is that you get real feedback. You are not dependent on data anymore. You're not going back end and saying that, okay, what will happen? Let's do analysis. Let's hire an analyst. I want Nielsen data. All that thing is not required. Just go and talk to a community. Tell them about, what you faced. They will only tell you that, hey, if you're selling laddus, then can you put some silver foil onto it? If you're doing this, can you make another certain laddu? I'm just saying. So all your product variations, price information, and your quality information, all that thing can come from a community that you will not get that easily. A person who looks at your product will immediately come and tell you that, hey, kapda ka quality chune se acha nahi lag raha hai. Then you know exactly what to do. Find a kapda which chune se acha lagta hai. So that is, I think, the power of your micro communities. And like I said, funnels are key. E-commerce funnels are very different from your traditional marketing funnels. They were talking about awareness, consideration, preference, intent, purchase. Things have changed now. Now people are going in the metrics as how, if you are in e-commerce, then people follow an app like a metric, Pirate Metrics, which is developed by Google. You can just search it out. It's called Pirate Metrics because it's like a R framework, triple A double R framework. So it starts from the awareness funnel, but calculated on how many people, how many sessions actually happened, how many people clicked on the, in your campaign. If the clicks is not as per the ratio of the threshold, let's say average cost per click of a Instagram channel, ad is two rupees. Similarly, Google will have their own cost of click per session. So depending on your campaign objective, you can't put a objective of awareness and expect sales to happen. And sales, if you're doing, then you better have a creative talking about all the conversion and trust markers there itself in the campaign. So that will help you with your all the click throughs that go from how many people saw your campaign, how many people clicked it, landed on your shop or landed on your online store. From then on, from homepage, what banners were clicked, what are the banners clicked and what are the banners never clicked. If there are banners in your store which are not clicked, you rather remove it. No? It's not relevant, or you position to a different place. Otherwise, it's just out there taking out space. More minimalist layouts, more clear value proposition are going to win, eventually. So then once people go to the product, just check on all the funnels that you're creating, why somebody clicked and why somebody is not clicking and what next to do until they do a purchase. Post purchase also, you have to have a second loop on again communicating and telling them that, okay, what are you up to in the next. Sometimes when you're not selling them, you can just inform them what you're doing through emails. The email marketing is always there. People, sometimes people say that, it's an outdated way of marketing, but email marketing has a very different purpose these days. So use all of these communication and engagement mechanisms. I'll just close with some key insights and again open to taking questions. Like you was talking about, September highest gross revenue was achieved. I can't quote the numbers now. Again, October, we saw premium buying peak, like I was talking about. Gross ASP reached around 1505, especially when a discounted platform is selling. These ASPs are way higher. November, again, a stable demand, ASP reduced, but bundling helped overall AOV increment. You might say that ASP is 1400, but highest average order value was booked on late of October and starting of November. Again, like here also we achieved more than 40% overall GM in the festive period. What are the key drivers? Women's ethnic wear, where the backbone of the festive sales, it is not men, to just for a comparison. When I say ethnic wear, it is mostly apparels. Like kurti sets were the dominant category. And kurti sets are always the dominant category in the women's section, at least in our platform. Then you have a very interesting thing that comes up is the revenue was driven not by the highest chunk of revenue was not driven by the apparels but the idols and gold coins. So once a October comes in, people will start buying at an average selling price value of 15,000. So same people buy the rest of the other days on Ajio at a level of less than 1,200 ASP, and the same guys are buying at a 15k ASP in this kind of festive. So you can see the like a more than 10x 12x kind of a jump. So that's the mindset of people. Second is t-shirts. Again, nobody bought very unique t-shirts during this period. Mostly basics, volume based, were bought at a extremely high discount. What was differentiator was some lifestyle shoes, like your top brands like Nikes and Adidas did well as compared to smaller brands like Wakabuki or Asian or Comet. Those were not doing well. But expect high value purchases happening in the footwear side also in this area. Last is your accessories, impulse add-ons, like we discussed. Always people do bundling here. So if you're wearing a festive cloth, you need a matching earring, you need to buy matching, bangle. So all of those should be part of your collaboration. If you're not producing it, like somebody asked, co-branding and co-creation, please go forward for it. That way they market your products, you also market their products, and the sale happens on this in any of the places. If you can unify your inventory, nothing better than that. Next is again, margin specific, I say. Festival specific SKUs like gifting items, idols, they drive highest margins. Your footwear drives a lot of margins also. Ethnic wears, again, growth driver. Cross-selling basics with increasing the AOV, like I talk about. That's I've already covered. Lifestyle products and accessory checkout. I think AOV increment good. And must-haves. So this is the last slide I have is about your must-haves. I'll not go to all the frameworks of 5 P's of marketing, 3 C's, not like that. Then specifically, I'll tell that if you are doing a product, try introducing a festival specific product. Don't repeat the product that you had before. Maybe you use the same product, add on with a supplementary thing. Like if you see fool agarbatti, it is just a commodity, and the value proposition was there with a story that people went to people's mind that they are using mandir ka fool, you using all. It was all good, but how do you make a agarbatti brand a multi-crore brand apart from focusing on power of distribution? They are playing on festives. They've introduced a Raksha Bandhan where they come up with a fool ka. Now they don't make biscuits. They make only incense sticks. So they made a curated packet way of bundled multiple things and put a gifting item together. So introduce those things and make it a high ticket item, not necessarily a very cheap one, and right people will buy. Next is the pricing. Like I said, I think we covered this. Start with a premium pricing, slowly do bundling, and then move on to a liquidation mode. So don't be in a hurry. People will come and buy. Bundling we spoke about. Checkout triggers. Sometimes nudge them with some commodity buys. Like I said, if you're buying grocery, probably dahi or mirchi or something like that will come up here. In terms of lifestyle, we do socks, handkerchiefs, all those kind of things. Very small. Sometimes with beauty, we do commodities like cotton swabs and all that cotton. So that people will use it without thinking on what brand it is coming from necessarily. I can't cross sell or do an impulse purchase on a skincare item. Lastly, push crossover categories like sneaker, activewear, because people are also buying their high ASP. If you are feeling that you have taken a hit on your because you did a low ASP sale happened, but there is no margin, then probably something you can promote towards the October season is these kind of lifestyle angle. Promote the lifestyle angle, not necessarily a product selling and all. So I think that's it from my end. Any questions that you have, please let me know. Happy to discuss any or answer any of your questions.
Thank you so much for such a in-depth, insightful session, Anup. I'm sure I've already been getting messages from a lot of founders on how much value they've started seeing from this. Anup, you can feel free to stop sharing your screen.
Yep.
I will start picking up some questions from
Okay.
the chat. One of the questions was that do you think Cuckoo FM, Pocket FM fit into the theme of local marketing? And would you suggest going ahead with them?
Yes, I would. But see, FM is a little bit more broader and also localized in a way. So I don't think it's a problem until and unless. See, the problem with these kind of marketing is, I'll tell you the pros and cons. Okay. So the problem with these kind of marketing is that it's a broadcast-led marketing. There is no engagement happening. And secondly, you can't track who heard and how much came. You can just see the end results. So going for pocket-based marketing, until you have a store localized over there, it is it is talking to a certain set of group of people who can direct, like big bazaar ka sale aa raha hai, run rush in this particular area. Probably that will work out. But if depending on the nature of your product, if you're selling a very complex product, please don't go for Pocket FM because explaining that is going to be difficult. If it is a simpler value proposition, then Pocket FM may work out. But again, depending on the nature of the product you're selling, service you're selling, localized, yes. Extremely localized and commoditized product at a very high pricing, probably yes. If it is a complex product, even if it is localized, then no, don't go for Pocket FM.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing. There is one question that has come up a little more basic for a founder. He has said that we've just recently started our business, not fully prepared for the festive season. Website is still being setting up, and they've not listed on marketplaces. So, how can somebody get on board on marketplaces? Are they GST, trademark, other documents that are
Yep.
required? Second, initiatives to focus on in the short term that might work well.
Okay. So I'll answer the first question. So yes, there is still time. Onboarding, in Myntra would be a little faster. In Ajio would take about a week. Myntra would be probably 3-4 days. Here in a week's time, and after they post that, then cataloging starts. So cataloging is really done by two steps. Either you can do it yourself or you give it an agency who does it faster. So if you're chasing a faster activity, Give it to an agency who does cataloging. There are a number of cataloging activities there, centers out there. They take roughly 20 to 30 rupees per product for cataloging. So go with that. Second is you might face in between, some kind of hurdles in the onboarding because the cataloging is not, up to the mark, or they will come back and say this information is not there. For example, these days, more the information you share in the cataloging sheet itself, like your trend tags, exact detail of the USPs, there's a higher chance that people are going to search for you. So that is the catalog. So net roughly 15 days to go, on board. Another 3-4 days to set up your, planning process on what I will start with, which products I'll give a discount, launch plan, XYZ. Probably within 3 weeks, you can actually, at a minimum 3 weeks time, you can go live. So there is still time. If you can start off now and get hold of somebody in any of your targeted marketplace, you can go live, and October can be great with you. And but the only thing is that just be aware that algorithms take time to build the weightages for the products because you are a new product. So what I would suggest is, if you have some budget to amplify this discovery process, so take a bet on some of the products that you have. Necessarily, you don't have to only invest in marketing. Try part discounting these products. Let's say I have 100 products and I know 5 products I have are extremely good, and I can 100% rely upon this product that people are going to love it. So rather than selling at a full price, or rather than discounting everything, just select these 5 products, do an extremely aggressive discounting. See how to go about discounting. Just see what is the nearest top brand that is selling similar product. If the pricing is so and so, please reduce the price beyond that. If you're selling sneakers, and my product is, no, sorry, if I'm selling something, let's say a big brand is selling at 1100 rupees and my product is at 1200 rupees, I'll probably go down way below 1000 and do it at 900 or 800 rupees. Take the hit there while I keep the rest of the 95 products at a full price or a very marginal discount. And only on those 5 products, put up money, do your ads, performance ads, all those marketing, boosting ads. Please run it for that entire 15-day period, so your brand gets traction automatically. Like I told about the price to value ratio, price is low, value perception is high, automatically the ratings will be high. If your product is getting low rating, just reduce the prices of that, promote it. People will believe that okay, price ke liye value is good, the ratings are going to get, so the automatic traction will come. Otherwise, if you're not doing all of these activities, even if you go live, you're probably not going. Maybe people see some views may come, but you may not end up getting thing because ratings nahi aaya ab tak, reviews nahi aaya ab tak. All of these things, boost the algorithm has not learned about you. So only go ahead if you have this. Second is, you're saying about the you asked about some of the things that you can do in the short term marketing activities, right?
Correct.
So
And Anup, while you're maybe talking about that, there are a couple of
hmm,
questions around the, immediate marketing launch.
right,
How can you
right.
make the most of it? So maybe in the food, in the apparel, in the
Hmm.
luggage category, if you have any quick tips, happy to look into them.
Yeah, yeah. So, see, people, it's a traveling season also. I think so the 3 categories you mentioned were luggage, food, and fashion and apparel. So, all the 3 are very different supply chains and different ways of marketing. One is your luggage category. So, travel will be key this season. Everybody is waiting to travel till I think late January. People are going to travel. So one way, if you are a smaller brand who is selling luggage right now, probably going to a marketplace building without a branding and all may not work out. Look for MBO stores. People are going to do a lot of localized shopping. So marketing in monthly brand outlets are going to be more important than for you than spending money on performance ads on Instagram. So that is the first thing for the fastest way. So focus on traditional marketing, like board level marketing, or create some events around that particular MBO shops. That will work out for you rather than going on any digital medium. But start up listing in your thing, because towards the December, January, you may take the, you might get some advantage of the, your travel fever. So that might help you. But other than that, I think since you are a new brand, again, retargeting will not work. SMS campaign is a waste of money. Trust development is important. capture those videos from your offline shops. If you have an Instagram channel, if you have a website, or you're doing performance ads, then run those videos of people liking your product and talking about your product. So I think that localized way of communicating and translating, basically propagating how others are perceiving your product, rather than an influencer coming and selling, telling that, hey, this is a great bag, buy it. That is much better way to do it. If there's a perfume company, what was that? Bella Vita Organics. I think everybody knows it, right? But how did everybody get to know it? 5 years back, it was not even existing. So if you see the initial ads they did, they simply went to a Dubai Expo and sprayed that a little bit hands on everybody and asked, hey, what perfume do you say? Now, the kind of people who were there are primarily people who wear perfumes of a very high brand. So when I wear perfume of a higher brand, I will relate to somebody of something of a higher brand. So I all spoke about, everybody, this is from, I remember from this big brand and all that. And then finally, Indians thought that, okay, probably it is similar to that. And that's how you got to know about it. It's a word of mouth. So that's what you can go. Food is little more trickier, depending on the nature of, if you're doing packaged foods, localized in a manner. I think you can start your, journey around, like I said, if you already have customers, please retarget them throughout the year, whoever bought it. Tell them about what is special about your festive package and offering this time. Maybe it can be a combinational gifting plus food and gifting are very related in this entire festive period. Everybody has to give for Navratri, Dashera. So make some packages around it. Your branding and should be around, the value of gifting something. There should be a notion of how people, how do you say, emotions and your gifting should be related in your marketing. And that can happen through videos that you're making, or you are actually driving some local micro community based engagements. Like I enter a society and, there are multiple things going on. I kind of do an event over there, call all the women of the society. I'm just saying, and they are the decision makers that bring food to the place. Second are snacks. Now, snacks, mate, is not gender, averse and all. But if you're a snack-led business that can go anywhere in the country, probably, you can start off with distribution and on Zomato, Swiggy, if you can list it, because there's no risk of anything. And now they're delivering in multiple places. Or but see, I'll tell you, if you're a new brand, don't go on Instagram and think that sales will happen. It's a lot of effort, trust building or branding. Lastly, your fashion again, you will see in October, all the major D2C brands will kind of change their strategies of promotion. Today, they were talking about drops, right? Rest of the year, they'll talk about there's a new drop coming up, limited period sale happening, XYZ. But all of these communications will go completely out. Everybody will start selling about, something new. They will talk about completely different than what traditional brands do. Traditional brands will talk about bundling, festive calling and everything. These brands will go like a, completely 180-degree opposite, an alternate theory about, what festive can be for you. Why don't you try something new? So they try to create an impact, because smaller D2C brands, not the businesses with labels, they try to attack the brain of the customer, the understanding in the top of the mind of the customer. But if you are a generic commodity that you can't differentiate your products from another 10 more brands out there, probably that means that, you are more on product centric. So go with marketplaces, go with your community led thing. Like I said, in the entire funnel, start with influencer, go with your bundling and XYZ. So I think that's the way to go ahead. But I think if I know your exact product, I can answer more clearly. But this was a generic answer.
Thanks, Anup. We will, founders, be taking one more question.
Right.
Post which, feel free to maybe share the questions with us. You can add them on the LinkedIn posts that we have, or message us for them. Of course, Anup himself is very active on LinkedIn, so we'll pick them up. One question that is there, actually, two slightly related ones. One is understanding the right marketplace for your product. And the second is distributing marketing budgets across different platforms while understanding the category and demographics for these.
Right. So the first question was, can you let me know the first question again?
Understanding the right marketplace for
Okay.
my product.
Okay. Yeah. For example, see, I'll tell you, I'll give an example. Now, if I'm trying to buy a product worth 2000 rupees ka some kind of a crazy Indo fusion dress, right? Where would I go? Would I go to Amazon or would I go to Mintra? Would I go to maybe Zepto? Probably I'll go to Mintra. I'm just saying, or Ajio. I'll probably not go to Misho also because I don't expect these kind of products to be the variety to be available. Similarly, so your market product fit should be based on the nature of customers and their behaviors. If your customers prefer shopping from a more specific storefront that sells only fashion and not only fashion, proper brands, fashion and all, then you go for in Ajio or Mintra. But if you are a commodity supplier like a label, if you see a lot of people who are based out of Surat, they do business into ethnic and shirts and all, and their price points are way cheaper. Many of the products look like exactly what a D2C brand would be selling. But they list on Amazon and Flipkart, they get a lot, 10,000 orders per day is nothing for them. That's the kind of a thing. But again, if you are going to Flipkart and Amazon and all that, you better have because it's a low price item and the nature of customers that are there, you will face a lot of high returns. So if your capacity does not include dealing with roughly 45-50% returns, or dispatching products at the volume of 10,000 units a day slowly, so then I don't think you should go to that platform. But the same people, if you see, I go to Amazon, probably some kind of, let's say I want to buy an RC car, probably I'll go to Amazon. Electronics, probably Amazon, Flipkart. I'll not go to Ajio. Ajio also has electronics, but probably that's the mindset. So that's the first way to understand which marketplace to go. Second is your branding. Now there are marketplaces like Misho, like Savannah, right? So they have cross-border products all around. Chinese products are all available, or extremely localized non-border products available. But if you are trying to build a brand and you go and sell it over there, you may get sales if your pricing is good, but you never have a brand. You're just going to be compared and treated as just like any other random product out there. So branding is another part to understand. Third is the nature of the service that you provide. Now let's say Flipkart and Amazon will not allocate an account manager to everybody. Same happens to, if you go to Mintra also, everywhere, until you reach a certain stage. So that threshold stage is more important. Some places like I can speak about Ajio and Mintra and fashion marketplaces. If your product is unique, you come from a great like a background, great funding and all. The potential of the brand doing, let's say, 1 CR a month, then you don't have to ask for account manager. Automatically, people will come with their strategies. They only tell you, yeah, promote karo. They'll take over. You will just sit, just make sure that production is happening and do your collaboration in terms of understanding gaps in the market. That's it. But had you have done this in the Amazon, Flipkart, probably it's just a marketplace, it's a technology. Nobody, you just get the insights, you have to work alone, and you don't have a huge team to help you with all this analysis. So that is a third part of the nature of the business you're doing. I think I would like to end with this. There are many more small things, but I think these three things on your product branding and your uh, nature of services and collaboration decides on how you go, where you go.
Thank you, Anup. Founders, I know there are a lot of questions. We will try and pick them up super soon for the Rise community. Maybe we'll try and also arrange an AMA with Anup in the coming week or so. Anup, thank you so much for the session. I know we went a little over time, but the fact that we have founders that have stayed back is a very big thing. And we really appreciate the insights that you bring in from an Ajio lens, from an overall marketplace lens, for, of course, lifestyle and fashion, but overall for D2C products and founders. I would love for you to also look at some of our Rise brands while gifting and while exploring this festive season. Hope to bring certain lifestyle brands onto Ajio and Ajiogram in the coming few days. Founders, please do give us your feedback on the poll that is there. I'm also dropping a link in the coming few weeks. We're going to have about 10 plus more sessions that are happening with experts like Anup and more. And we'd love for you to make the most of your festive season. This could be your first, this could be one of your firsts, but we're bringing together some of the most experienced experts across the industry. Anup, look forward to doing a lot more
Thank
with
you.
you at Rise and beyond in the coming few months. Uh, Thank you so much for everyone who joined in. If there are certain insights that you do choose to share on social media, feel free to tag Rise, feel free to tag Anup. It's always a good feeling for an expert and a speaker to see the insights that you have drawn from the session also going out into the world. So, thank you so much for joining, everybody.
Thank you, guys. And last thing, Ashita, is if I'll send you an Ajiogram deck. We are a content-driven, Gen Z focused. I'm building a Gen Z focused, content-driven marketplace, very different from what Ajio is. So just to give people a democratic way without spending money to do storytelling around their brand, to tell people why a product is different rather than just being compared with prices. So if you are focusing on a Gen Z bracket, please feel free to drop a mail on heyajiogram@ajio.com, and our team will evaluate and onboard you, and we'll get started with that. Thank you so much, Ashita. Thanks, Rise team, and thanks everyone for joining. Please have a great day.
Thank you.